Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 401st Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say, you can see this battle was fought on the grassy flatlands, and this is one of the biggest pike and spear battles that I've ever been in on Rome Total War. It's a really different type battle, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan, who's bought the Pontus faction. He's got 14 pikes, 2 foot archers, 2 chariot archers, and 2 Cappadocian cavalry. Okay, as I say, we're not looking at factions that closely now. We're going to try and move on to the battle as soon as we can. Okay, our second teammate is Brotherhood member 8ball, who's bought the Macedon faction, and he's got 16 pikes and 4 Cretan archers. Okay, so that's 16 pikes, 4 Cretan archers. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who has also bought the Pontus faction, and Mad King has got 16 pikes, 2 chariot archers, and 2 heavy chariots. Okay, and our next teammate, our last teammate, is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Macedon faction, and I have got actually 15 pikes and 5 archers. So as you can see there, that's our pike team here. Say it's all pikes here, but you wait till you see the other team. It should be a great battle for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have a Brotherhood member Bark, who's bought the Seleucid faction. Now Bark has just got 6 pikes, 8 foot archers, and 6 cataphract cavalry. Okay, so he's just got 6 pikes, 8 archers, and 6 cataphract cavalry there. Okay, not a lot of pikes for the modern day battlefield. It'll be interesting to see how well that does during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius, who has bought the Greek cities faction. Now Aurelius has got 10 Spartans, 5 Cretan archers, he's got 2 militia cavalry, 1 light cavalry, and a cavalry general. Unusual to see a Greek cities cavalry general these days. Interesting army build there. Okay, their next teammate is an RTW player called Dominatrix 420. Dominatrix 420, and he has bought the Greek cities faction, and he has got 20 Spartan units. Okay, that's 20 Spartan units for him. And their fourth teammate is RTW player Salty, and he has bought the Carthage faction. Now Salty's got 17 Sacred Band, 1 Iberian infantry unit, 1 cavalry unit, and 1 slinger unit. Okay, so as you can see there, as I say, this is one of the biggest pike and spear battles that I've fought in. But looking at the two armies here, who do you think's got faction advantage, or do you think there's no faction advantage here? Do you think it's pretty even? But remember, with these big 120-man units, it does cause a bit of lag, and this game has got a little bit of lag to start off with. Okay, and as I say, remember, Carthage punches above its weight when it fights 120-man units, as we will see as the battle unfolds. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see that Trajan has got his 2 chariot archer units up there to start shooting at the Seleucid units as they start moving. Remember, the 120-man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage, okay? I think that's one reason why Bark bought all those archers, 8 archers there. When he gets into closer range there, he'll be using those 8 archers, I think, to great effect. But as you can see here, these 2 chariot archers here are doing well against Bark's Seleucid units there. I see Bark has turned his pikemen and archers to face a threat from those chariot archers. And once those chariot archers get into the Canterbury circle, which you can see there, it makes them incredibly difficult to kill for foot archers. They just seem to keep going round and round and don't seem to suffer many casualties at all, but they can inflict a lot of casualties on foot archers. You can see a lot of the Seleucid foot archers there have been killed. You can see the bodies on the snow there. But as you can see, Trajan still using that Canterbury circle, shooting into those Seleucid units. Okay, can you see the Greek cities general is bringing his fast-moving cavalry over here? I think those are those militia cavalry. Now, those are javelin-throwing cavalry, and he's brought them over to try and counter these Pontus chariot archers. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how Trajan deals with this. Now Trajan may well alt attack with those chariot archers there. He may well alt attack and attack that militia cavalry, because I think probably those chariots will beat the militia cavalry in a hand-to-hand fight. Right, yes, can you see? I think as I say there, it's like Trajan has alt attacked and decided to alt attack his archers straight into those militia cavalry. Nice tactical attacking move there by Trajan. As I say, I think those chariots will probably beat that militia cavalry in a hand-to-hand fight there. And so that was a nice move there by Trajan. He may well try and take out those militia missile cavalry in one go there. I see he's routed one unit, so that was a nice alt attack there by Trajan on taking those archers out. But as you can see here, there is a little bit of lag in this battle because of the big 120 man units. We've got so many of them there, it did cause lag. So sorry if lag spoils the battle at all, but as the battle goes on and more soldiers are killed, you'll find the battle will speed up a little bit, okay? As I say, hope it doesn't spoil the enjoyment of the battle too much for you at these early stages. As I say, this is a very, very early stage of the battle here. And as you can see here, the Carthage general has taken his sacred band spearmen forward. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So as I said, most of us will know that you can see my Macedon army there. Now what I'm thinking here is I know that Carthage can beat our 120 man units, but what I'm thinking here is if I can take that Carthage army on, I might be able to weaken it so much that it's going to be no good for us anymore to fight anymore. So that's what I'm thinking here. I'm going to try and take on that Carthage army and do as much damage as I can. As I say, we know that Sacred Band Spearmen really do punch above their weights against 120 man units there. And so my guess is that he will probably beat my army, but I'm hoping that I will injure that army, Carthage army, enough to make it kind of not really that usable afterwards. Notice 8 Ball is leading the charge for us there, out facing those Greek cities, those 20 Spartan units there. And if you notice here, you can see Trajan is at the back at the moment, probably just weighing up his options there of where he's going to move his army. As I say, it's got the potential to be a great battle, and I really hope you enjoy it. I would just like to draw your attention to newer players to Rome Total War. Can you see how 8 Ball has put his units into open order? Okay, as you might know, open order units suffer less casualties from missiles. You know, that's why Roman generals with their pilot shield units in front of their main battle line have them in open order, because they suffer less casualties from missiles. So that's why 8 Ball there has moved his Macedon units into open formation there. You can see also Trajan moving around to that right flank there, maybe looking to engage the Greek city units. But as I say, with all these spears and pikes, it should be an interesting battle, and an unusual one too. Okay, at this very early stage of the battle here, as you can see, the Carthage general has moved his Sacred Band Spearmen forward towards our 120 man units. Now, Salty will know that Sacred Band Spearmen as I say, punch above their weight when they fight the 120 man units, so that's why he's attacking. He's confident with his Sacred Band units. That's why he's being so aggressive with them, because he knows that they cut a wide swathe through Macedon, Pontus, Seleucid pikemen, for instance there. So that's why he's being so aggressive with his Carthage Sacred Band. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. Nice little tactical move there. He's taking his Sacred Band around the flank of my formation there, as well as pinning them at the front. But notice here, Mad King, very good team player as he is bringing his Pontus pikemen over as well. He knows how much damage these Carthage Sacred Band can do to our units here, so he's bringing over some reinforcements to help here. Also, he's covering the flank there with some of his Pontus units there, stopping enemy units getting behind us. But if you notice here, can you see 8 Ball is right out in the front of us here, really getting attacked by those those 20 enemy Spartan units there. Okay, you can see the difference in spear length there. The Spartan spears very short in comparison to the long pikes of the Macedonians there. But remember, don't forget, those Spartans got 2 hit points, excellent attacking specifications, and can do very good against pikes. You can see Aurelius there over on our right flank there, maybe to look into flank 8 Ball here. That's maybe what he can do. So just hoping Trajan will counter any type of flanking movement there by Aurelius's Greek city units there. Okay, we've got our archers at the back there, trying to target the enemy archers as much as we can. And over here on the right flank, you can see we've got Cappadocian cavalry, our allies' Cappadocian cavalry, plus chariots out there on that right flank as well, trying to cause a lot of mischief, trying to take out enemy archers and soft targets like those enemy cavalry there, is light enemy cavalry. Okay, but meanwhile over here on our left flank, as I said, you can see Salty very confident with his Sacred Band, moving forward very aggressively there. As I say, he knows what damage Carthage Sacred Band can do against the big pike factions there. That's why he's advancing so confidently there. As I say, Mad King, great team player, brought over units here to help my Macedonians against the onslaught of these Sacred Band spearmen. Okay, so as I say, nice bit of teamwork there by Mad King, bringing his Pontus units across. So as I say, this left flank of ours may prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. We'll just have to see as the battle unfolds. Right, as I say, over here on the right flank, as I say, there is a lot of lag in this game due to the big 120 man units that we've got. I hope it's not spoiling the game too much for you. But as you can see here, the enemy Greek city, 20 Spartan units pressing in on 8 balls Macedonians there. Let's say Aurelius here is looking to flank. I'm thinking here he's moved into a position here where he may, let's just pause the game for a second, where he may well try and get in behind 8 ball there. But as I say, the 20 Spartan units of that RTW player, they're really pushing in on 8 ball's units. And as I say, Aurelius there might be looking to get even in behind 8 ball here and surround him. So I just hope Trajan switched on there tactically and can see what's going to happen and maybe counter any movement there as well. And don't forget, you've got those Seleucid pikemen. I know there's only 6 of them, but he's got those ready to move in, fresh, ready to move in there on poor old 8 balls besieged Macedonian units here. But meanwhile, over on our left flank here, can you see how the Barak Seleucid general very tactically moved his cavalry in behind us, taking full advantage of the cavalry advantage that he's got on this flank here, looking to smash into the rear of our engaged troops. Remember, Macedon and Pontus have not got very good morale anyway, and the shock of that cavalry hitting us could spark off a mass rout. Okay, so that's a nice tactical move there by Barak. He knows that the morale of Pontus and Macedon is not very good, so that's what he's hoping to do. Smash into the rear of us, causing a big shock and hopefully causing a mass rout. Meanwhile, the Carthage Sacred Band general's pushing his spearmen forward. Okay, meanwhile, over on our right flank here, can you see Aurelius has brought his Greek city army round the flank, looking to get in behind 8 ball. I'm thinking there, pause the game for a second. So 8 ball's rear now is completely exposed to Aura's attack, and you can see the RTW player there pressing forward with his 20 Spartan units, pinning and holding the Macedonian units, getting around the flank as well. Nice attack there by the Spartan general there. But as I say, Trajan seems to be pulling his Pontus army back, and this could allow Aurelius maybe to get in behind 8 ball. And that would, I think that would spell doom for 8 ball's army there if he does get in behind. As I say, meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see the pikes and spears are really fighting it out there. But the Seleucid cavalry in wedge formation has got in behind us. Remember, in wedge formation, they get more penetration when they charge in, and they're looking to smash into my Pontus ally there. Probably going for the Pontus general. See that cavalry going bang as it smashes in there. Hammer and anvil attack. Okay, the Carthage Sacred Band being the anvil and those cataphract cavalry being the hammer. A nice hammer and anvil attack there by the enemy team. Okay, as I say, remember, Pontus and Macedon have not got very good morale, and if the enemy start getting a few of our units to rout, it could actually turn into a mass rout there. So we must be very careful here on our left flank. We're already up against it with fighting those Sacred Band units. Let alone having Seleucid heavy cavalry coming in behind us. Okay, I'd just like to draw your attention here to the plight of poor old 8 ball here. Poor old 8 ball now is completely surrounded by Spartan units. Now, how long is he going to be able to hold there? As we know, Macedon morale's not very good. He's lost a heck of a lot of his units. The units he's got left are very battle damaged, and now, as you can see there, poor old 8 ball is surrounded. Okay, now Trajan there with his Pontus army stood behind. I was hoping he was going to charge forward to try and relieve a bit of pressure off of 8 ball, but obviously he's doing something a bit different. Maybe he can see something more tactical to do there. But as I say, poor old 8 ball there is now surrounded by 2 Greek cities' armies. And as I say, I hope Trajan would kind of move forward a little bit to maybe take a little bit of pressure off of 8 ball. But looking at 8 ball's predicament there, I'm not sure that he can be pulled back from the brink. As you can see, the Seleucid general Barak is bringing his pikemen round here, probably to maybe support some of the Greek city units to attack our Pontus ally. Okay, so our right flank here is not looking very good at the moment. Actually, our right flank and right centre is not looking very good at the moment. The enemy seem to be doing very well there. Okay, as I say, over on our left flank here, I can see a lot of my Pontus allies' units are now routing. From the pressure of those Carthage Sacred Bands and that Seleucid cataphract heavy tanks of the ancient world coming in behind us as well. Okay, I can see an Iberian infantry unit, a Carthage Iberian infantry unit charged into the back of my general unit there. Hopefully trying to take out my general is what he'll be looking to do there. But as I say, our left flank's not looking very good, and our right flank is looking terrible over there, really. So I would think it's only going to be a matter of time now before our units start to rout. Let's say maybe a team with Greek cities in 2 Greek cities armies, maybe you may well think they've got faction advantage there, and maybe that may prove to be right as the battle unfolds there. But poor old 8-Ball completely surrounded by Greek cities, fighting to the last man. But as you can see there, I think as that old saying goes, the writing's on the wall. And it looks to me that, yeah, let's just pause the game for a minute. Okay, so every single one of 8-Ball's men now has now been routed and killed there. Okay, so as I say, 8-Ball there, surrounded by Spartans, and his entire army has now been taken out. Also, he was getting pummeled by those archers, close range archers shooting to him all the time. Remember, the 120 man units very susceptible to missile damage, so he was suffering casualties from close range archers as well. So, okay, so this has now turned into a 3v4 since 8-Ball has now been taken out. See those heavy cataphract cavalry charging in. See a lot of our Pontus allies units are now routing. I'm hoping that some of them might rally, but I'm not sure. And I can see those Seleucid cataphract cavalry going into the back of my general unit, and bang, as they smash into the rear of my Macedon general unit there. A nice tactical cavalry hit there by Bark. Hammer and anvil once again. Don't forget the sacred band being the anvil and the cavalry being the hammer. Nice little scythe chariot attack there by Mad King into the back of those Carthage sacred band troops there. But as you can see here, remember, we're Pontus and Macedon. Okay, so just a look there, we're Pontus and Macedon. Remember, the enemy are Carthage, Seleucid and Greek cities. Okay, so just at a glance here, you can see how bad the situation is for us. And as I say, I don't think it'll be very long before our units start to mass rout, and I think it'll be a good win for the enemy team there. As you can see, after taking out 8-Ball's entire army, those victorious Greek city units are now moving across, looking to come into the rear of my engaged Macedon troops I've got turned facing those Carthage sacred band. So as I say, when those Greek city troops finally all get engaged into the rear of my troops, I'm thinking that it's not long till my units are going to start routing here. As I say, there's a lot of Greek city units moving in on us there. So plus we've got Carthage units coming in behind us, as well as fighting them head on as well. Plus we've got there's Carthage sacred band cavalry unit going in there looking to charge into the rear of my engaged Macedon unit, and bang! As it smashes into the rear of that Macedon unit there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see, the victorious Greek city armies are moving over from taking out 8-Ball to charge into my Macedonians. Mind you, my Macedonians and my Pontus ally there are sandwiching what's left of the Carthage sacred band units there, so I'm hoping we won't be able to do some good there. And if you notice here, can you see Aurelius has taken his Greek cities over to block any help from Trajan. Now, this is a nice tactical move there by Aurelius, holding and blocking. Plus you got that heavy Seleucid cavalry out behind Pontus as well. So that's so if you like, our Pontus ally is being kept occupied over here on this flank by Seleucid pikemen, Seleucid cavalry and Greek cities as well. Okay, so our Pontus allies can't really get any reinforcements over to us here, where we're being pummeled by victorious Greek city troops and those Carthage sacred band troops. Luckily here, can you see Mad King? Some of Mad King's units have rallied and he's bringing them back over to help. But as you can see here, the pressure is really on us on this left flank here. Now, but if you notice, the Carthage sacred band units are now sandwiched between my Macedonians and rallied Pontus units here. Okay, so this is good news for us. We're really putting the pressure on those Carthaginian units from back to front. Let's say it's a Carthage sandwich here is what we've got going. So I think what I'm thinking here is press forward, keep going for those Carthage sacred band, ignoring those Greek cities coming in behind me. Let me see if we can take out those Carthage sacred band, then turn to face the Greek cities threat. I think that's what I was thinking at the time in this battle. Whether that's the right tactical move, I don't know. Maybe I should turn now to face the Greek city units coming in behind me, or just keep pressing forward to take out those Carthage sacred band units. Meanwhile, over here on our right flank, see that Carthage cavalry unit smash into the rear of that Pontus pike unit there. Nice use of that cavalry there. Okay, so now can you see I've turned my Macedonians here to face the threat of those Greek cities. Okay, I've turned my pikemen now to face those victorious Greek city units facing me. If you notice, Mad King is also bringing over some of his units there to try and counter those Greek city units there as well. So as I say, but those Greek city units, can you see them moving forward? slowly, like a steamroller. See them moving slowly, very slowly, but like a steamroller, going over everything that it comes into contact with. See how they're pressing into our units there, those Greek cities. See that Carthage Sacred Band unit going into the rear of my units, and bang! Could cause a mass rout there with that. Yep, you can see a lot of both my units and Mad King's units there starting to rout. Just pause the game for a second. Right, see several of Mad King's units and my units starting to rout there with the pressure from those Greek city units and that cavalry hit in behind us. Okay, so as I say, things not looking very good here. It looks like my units are about to, my army is looking to about to rout at this time. And meanwhile, as I say, over here on the left flank, you can see Aurelius doing a really good tactical blocking move there, holding and containing our Pontus ally there, so he can't bring any reinforcements over to us. So that's a nice tactical move there by Aurelius. Plus, he's got his Seleucid allies, cavalry in behind. Plus, make no mistake, the enemy will be shooting loads of arrows into our Pontus ally over there as well. But as I say, over here on this flank, it looks to me like from what I can see, our units are under so much pressure and have suffered so many casualties there. As I say, neither of our morale, Pontus or Macedon, is very good. So, unfortunately there, I think I can see our units starting to rout here. And as I say, I don't think it'll be very long till the enemy get a great victory here over us here. See those Greek city units pushing forward, using their great attacking specifications there to push forward into our units, causing casualties, lowering the morale of our troops through causing those casualties and making them more susceptible to routing. See that Greek Sacred Band unit just went into the back of engaged Pontus unit. The Pontus unit is now routed. Can you see a lot of my units starting to rout now? And you can see there, so basically all my army has now been routed. I think I've got one battle damage units left that's going to just about to rout. Okay, and as you can see, a lot of Greek city units there. So I think both Mad King and my units there have just been routed. And as you can see here, Aurelius here is still pinning and holding our Pontus ally Trajan. Alright, to stop Trajan sending over any reinforcements. So now the victorious enemy troops from that flank that have just taken out Mad King and myself will now come over and probably look to finish off Trajan's Pontus army. Okay, so as I say, I thought we did quite good here, but we did know that we would suffer a lot of casualties against the Carthage Sacred Band units there. Now you can see the last of my infantry have now been taken out, and I think the enemy team here has gone on to a good victory here. As I say, I think Trajan's doing very good against these Greek city units, but there's a lot of Sacred Band battle damage, Cataphract cavalry over on that flank as well. But as you can see here, as I say, Trajan's doing very good against the Greek city units here. But if you look at the numbers now against him, as I say, those victorious Greek city troops over there and some Carthage Sacred Band troops, I'd have thought that the Greek city's general over there should run his troops over here now to help his ally. If he hangs around over there, then this gives Trajan a chance to move some units around tactically and take out the outnumbered Spartan units here. Now Salty, he could see the danger and he's moved over his Carthage Sacred Band unit over here to help his ally. But the other Greek city's general on the other flank is not doing that at the moment. There's a close-up of the fight. As I say, you can see the long pikes of the Pontus pikemen there against the short spears of the Spartans there. Okay, as I say, you can see some Seleucid Cataphract cavalry out behind the Pontus general there. And if you notice here, some of Mad King's units have rallied and he's running his pikemen over here now. Okay, so all of Aurelius's army has just been taken out. I think most of the Carthage Sacred Band units have been taken out now. And as I say, Mad King and Trajan are still there. As I say, you can see the Cataphract cavalry in behind them. Yes, they're battle damage, but maybe they may well make the difference towards the end of the battle. So I say Mad King and Trajan here now, and they're up against those Greek city units. If you notice, I've got 2 archer units left out of my entire army, 2 battle damage archer units. But what I'm going to try and do, I've still got arrows, so what I'm going to try and do is get behind those engaged Greek city units and shoot loads of fire arrows into them, hopefully lowering their morale and making them more susceptible to routing. But as I say, there's a good lot of Greek city units left there. And as I say, they're going up against our Pontus ally. Remember though that the Pontus pikemen have got those long pikes, like all 120-man units, against the short spears of the Spartans. And you can see that Cataphract cavalry in behind the Pontus pikemen there. If you notice, those Cataphract cavalry seem to run into those pikes there. But as you can see, still a lot of Pontus units starting to rout. I can see a couple of Greek city units starting to rout as well. As I say, I've got my archers in behind them there, and I should start shooting fire arrows into them, causing casualties, and of course lowering their morale, and hopefully making them more susceptible to routing. Okay, so as you can see there, the Greek city's general still pushing his Spartans forward, still being aggressive, still trying to make the most use of those really high attacking specifications that the Greek cities have got. But all the time there, you can see I'm shooting fire arrows into the rear of those spearmen there, really causing, as I say, lowering the morale of those spearmen there, hoping that my Pontus allies can take advantage of that and take those Greek city units out. Those Greek city units are battle damaged. Their morale will be low now because they're battle damaged, even though they've got 2 points. Now, if you notice there, can you see the Greek city's general is using one of his spear units to try and chase my archer units down? Well, that's fine by me, because I'll just run away and let him chase me, and that just leaves his other spear units here to be taken out, which they've just been done. Okay, so it looks to me now that our team may well have turned this around. And just pause again for a second. Just want to show you the intensity of the battle here. If we go right over on that right flank, do you remember where we had the chariot archers shooting against the those Seleucid archers over there? But as we move further into the battle here, can you see? You know, this just bears testament to how intense the battle was. I think this was the area where poor old 8-Ball was surrounded and taken out here. But as you notice there, he has caused a lot of casualties to the Spartans. As we move further along the battlefield here, you can see the piles of dead on top of each other there. And then a little bit quieter in this area, still dead there, but a little bit quieter. And then we move over to the other flank where the fighting was extremely intense. And as you can see here by the piles of dead, how actually intense the battle was. Macedon, Carthage, Pontus dead here, all over the Seleucid cavalry dead here. You can see here, as I say, how intense the fighting was on this flank. Okay, you can just see that, how, as I say, how intense it was there. So somehow our team has managed to turn things around. And you know that old saying about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat? Well, I think, you know, watching this battle, I think that's really what we've done. We have snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. I just can't believe how we've turned it around. Look at Trajan. These are 120 man units. 12 men in that unit. 32. 32. Okay, now, as I say, there's 120 man units. 26. 68 in that one. 16. 16 there. 24. Okay, so that just goes to show how battle damaged Trajan's units were towards the end of the battle. Okay, as I say, I've still got my archers there, and if the enemy want to chase my archers, that's fine. They'll tire themselves out, and then when my allies catch up with them, hopefully they'll be able to finish them off. But as I say, that's all the troops we've got left out of our massive pike armies that we had. Remember, with the massive 120 man units that we had, that's all we've got left. And we're just managing to chase down the last of the... hopefully chasing down the last of the enemy troops. They may well admit defeat now, because... as I say, it looks like we've managed to go on to win the battle here. I'm just going to go up to double speed here, just to try and finish the battle a bit quicker, as they don't seem to be admitting defeat yet. Possibly might be a good idea to go up to treble speed actually as well. Remember, towards the end of the battle, when you've obviously lost, it's just best to admit really, and you can get into the lobby and host a new battle there. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there, and as you would expect, it was a close victory. But this is one of the reasons I wanted to show you this battle, because look at the strange kills, the really unusual kills here. If you look here, you can see Trajan with his Pontus army now, 2,310. Now that's a high kill count for Pontus, really good there, I think. But also, if you look down here, can you see Salty, 2,442 with that Carthage Sacred Band. 2,442, and then the Greek cities player there, look, 2,325 kills as well. Absolutely massive kills in the enemy team. 1,368, 1,570. Those are really high kills. And as I say, when you look at the kill count, how the heck did we win this? Because, as I say, you can see the enemy have got such massive kills. I think they've got the I think they've got the 4 highest kills in the game, I think, looking out. So, as I say, it was really an interesting kill count there. I just don't know how we managed to win. And as I say, you don't usually see 2,000 kills in a game, but in this battle, you can see there's 3 generals there with over 2,000 kills. So I thought that's an interesting amount of kills to see there. And as I say, when you look at the enemy kills there, how the heck did we win? And like I said, I know I've said it before, but snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, I think, is really apt in this battle. So, as I say, nice to see so many factions as well. Macedon, Pontus, Seleucid, Greek cities, and Carthage there. And I just thought it was nice to see a really good pike and spear battle. When was the last time you saw a 4v4 all pike, all spear battle? I bet it was a long time ago. I can't remember the last time I fought in an all pike and all spear battle. It must be years now. So that's why I thought it was an interesting battle to watch. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I say, please leave a comment if you like. I always like to read what you think about our battles. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now. See you soon.